problem. Now, this problem was simpler than the one I did because you only had two equations given. So when we look at this one, we know that we have ethene plus water gives us ethanol. So if I look at my first equation, I have 1 mole of ethene on the left, and I want 1 mole of ethene on the left in my overall reaction. So I use this first equation as written. C2H4 gas plus 3 O2 gas yields 2 carbon dioxide gas plus 2 liquid water. It's important when you're looking at things like water that you always make sure it is the right physical state. If it's water liquid or water gas, you'll see both of those. So my delta H was negative 1367.1. I'm just feeling like I'm running out of room, okay? That's the wrong one. It's negative 1411.1 kilojoules. So now, when I look at that, I say, okay, I now have this in place. Now, how do I get my ethanol in place? Well, I need 1 mole of ethanol on the right. I have 1 mole of ethanol on the left in the other equation. Since I need it on the right, I'm going to turn this around. And when I turn it around, I change the sign. So I have 2 moles of carbon dioxide gas plus 3 moles of water liquid yields 1 mole of ethanol liquid plus 3 moles of oxygen gas. And I change the sign, so I now have positive 1367.1 kilojoules. This gives me the ethanol in place. I don't have any more equations, so I hope everything's going to work out now. When I add this together, I get ethene gas plus 3 O2 gas plus 2 CO2 gas plus 3 water liquid. Those are my reactants. And that yields 2 carbon dioxide gas plus 2 water liquid plus ethanol liquid plus 3 oxygen gas. And now I add up my 2 enthalpies. So I have negative 1411.1 and positive 1367.1, and that gives me 44.0 kilojoules. Now I take a minute to see what can cancel. I have ethene plus 3 oxygen, and I have 3 oxygen over here, so I can cancel those. I have 2 carbon dioxide on the left and 2 carbon dioxide on the right, so I can cancel that. I have 3 waters on the left and 2 waters on the right, so I can cancel 2 waters, leaving me 1 water. And I have ethanol on the right. So I'm left with ethene gas plus 1 water liquid, 1 water liquid, yields ethanol, and delta H is 44.0 kilojoules. So this was a little bit simpler because I only had 2 equations to deal with. Sometimes your equations that are given, sometimes you'll use all of them, sometimes you won't. Question? It is negative 44. Was that it? Okay, thanks. Yeah, when you add these together, it is negative 44. So that is Hess's law. Now, I have a much harder one for you at the back of the chapter, and that'll take significant time for you to work that one out, but we're not going to deal with it right now because it's very involved multi-concept problem, and we haven't talked about some of the concepts yet. So now we're going to talk about some of those concepts, and that is the standard enthalpy of formation.